All right, we're streaming to YouTube.
That's a missed opportunity for them, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, mostly me. Mostly missed opportunity for me.
Yeah. Right. Buddy, I'm glad that you're here talking to us again, man. I'm glad you
No,
could come
thanks
on.
for asking, man. That's awesome. Feels
For sure, dude.
feels nice to be, asked to be back.
We never wanted you back on the show. Why are you here?
Sorry.
No, dude, I can't believe it's been over a year already since we talked to you.
That was a year ago.
Has it been a year?
I got that memory in my Facebook almost to the day.
Wow.
A year ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Twilight Zone shit.
Well, I guess if we're good, I got everything going. We can go ahead and get the show started.
I was in the parking lot of an Arby's.
Yes.
We had a lot of Arby's talk.
I was gonna go do it again at an Arby's. I was like,
dude, you should have. That would have been a hilarious meme.
Actually,
but
I'm still here,
dude. Something to go over before we start recording. I know the last time you were on, we had a very general conversation. It was
Where was I? Do you remember?
You're in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Last August, I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm told.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so the last time you were on, we had just kind of a very general talk format. It's still very much the same, but the last couple of months, we've leaned more into doing we lean more into the open micers aspect of, the origin of comedy, that kind of thing. Doing more like formatted stuff like the Are You Garbage guys do, Yeah. So we're going to hit you with those kind of questions as well, since we didn't get to that the first time. And should be a lot of fun, dude. We have a lot more people listening since we've done that. So we will definitely use that momentum to plug the special.
Cool, man. Thank you.
All right. Well,
sure,
if we're ready to roll this thing, I can get us started. What do you say?
Yes. Neil, definitely give us your reaction to our theme song. It's the worst podcast theme song of all time.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitch, it's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head, Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch, heard what I said. Drop that ass, open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. Open micers in the house, open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy, open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
The mic is open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, dude, and I've got a big intro for this guy for this episode because this is a return guest that has been a long time in the making, dude. Literally since the first time we've had him on, we've wanted to have him back on, and we just found the perfect excuse because he's released his very own first ever hour-long special, Have Some Dignity, available now on YouTube through Equal Vision Records. And it is, we'll get into how good it is on the episode, guys, but you know him from Sopranos, 30 Rock, Comedy Central.
You don't know me from any of those things.
You don't know him from those things, but he's done them. He's done them. You know him from being very good at stand-up. That's what you know him from. Exemplified by his special currently having more than 23,000 views right now on YouTube. Last that I checked. You actually have an opportunity to see him this weekend as well. If you're local to us, you can check him out at Library Riot in Lake Charles, Louisiana on the 31st. You can check him out at the Hideaway Den and Arcade in Mandeville, Louisiana on September 1st. Or you can check him out at Atmosphere Bistro, Lafayette, Louisiana, September 2nd. He's got a good little run coming up. Guys, it's the second appearance of Neil Rubenstein. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man. How are you guys? Thanks for having me on again.
Dude, thanks for coming on again, especially after you just quietly dropped like a fantastic freaking special.
Quiet because no one's listening,
Dude, people are listening. 23,000 people are listening so far. It's just going up.
No, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
And we've had you on before. The people know you. There's been a lot of changes to our show since the last time you've been on. One of which is our theme song, buddy. What did you think about it? How bad was it?
I definitely wanted to not do the podcast after.
I saw it on your face. I saw you grin.
I was like, I think I have to go. I should go.
We
It was like, like it was the brown sound, like it made me have to poop. I was like,
that's kind of our brand, if I'm being honest.
Open
Might
micers,
be.
the brown note.
I think, and you're a guy who knows music too. I mean, you're in with guys like Taking Back Sunday, Motion City Soundtrack. It's not like you have an untuned ear. Like this is
I picked
truly
up
a
on how
bad
bad
theme
that
song.
was. Yeah. No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest walk yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah.
And if it would have been Neil that walked off, I would have definitely been like, yeah, we can't play that anymore after this.
Yeah, we'll get one next month, I think, to walk off. But dude, Neil, have some dignity. We're gonna talk heavily about it. We're gonna talk all about the special this
All right.
episode. Can I give you my personal, non-biased, just objective review of your special?
I mean, sure.
I think
Hopefully
you're
it's good.
dude. Okay, so I often review specials. I've written reviews of specials for our blog. I got heat recently for calling out Tom Segura on poor joke writing because he just in his last special he had some poor joke writing. Like I'm very staunch when it comes to comedy and specials. And I watched your special the night it premiered.
Thank you.
And I texted you this. I was so blown away by how it turned out. I was so blown away by your delivery, your material. I couldn't believe that this was a self-produced special because it's better than a lot of what the big comics are doing with productions like Netflix.
100% agree.
I thought it was better than any special that's been on Netflix this year. And that's me being completely honest and objective about the production quality and you as a comedian. I thought you blew it out of the fucking water, dude.
I mean, that's unbelievable to hear. Thank you. Dubin and Steve Padula did everything. Like, I just, I woke up one morning and was like, I'm gonna record this crap. And then I threw up a GoFundMe and I asked Dubin and Steve if they would be involved, and they took it and ran with it. I mean, they did way more than I could have ever expected. I remember one text thread. They were like, "We got a dolly and 10 feet of track," and I replied, "I mostly stand still." Yeah, no, they blew it out of the water, man. They really, I think their thinking was like, make it so that if Netflix liked it or whatever, it was the quality that, that those places demand. So I think that was their thinking. And yeah, I think it came out great. I'm proud of it. I really appreciate the work that they did, but like I can't take any credit for the production value. Like that's all those guys.
Well, I mean, you can put as much production value on anything that you want, but if the comedy's bad, then it's not a good special. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely should take some credit.
I mean, I told the jokes,
Yeah, dude, that's 90% of it. You told the jokes, Neil. Without the jokes, there's no production.
Yeah, I ordered the chairs too. I got the chairs.
Okay, so 91% of it, roughly.
So where was this recorded at? Because I was asking Jacob before the show, and I'm like, wait, why don't we just ask you this?
Yeah, it was our friend's space. Our buddy in Montclair, New Jersey, he owns that space, and Dubin had shot a band there, maybe a few weeks prior to us deciding to do this. And, we were thinking about locations. I was thinking about Oklahoma because, I like it there. And then, then I thought about, well, like, who's going to do it, right? Who's going to shoot it? And Dubin and Padula are both in New Jersey. So I was like, all right, let's do this in New Jersey. Who do I know in New Jersey? What are some cool places? What are some cool spaces? We thought about the Saint in Asbury Park. We thought about, a few other like dive bar looking places. I even thought about like a basement, like just like do it like a punk rock show.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
And then Dubin was like, well, it's going to be harder to shoot. We're going to, like all those things. And we called our buddy David and we were like, how much, would it be to rent the space? And he was like, I'll give you the space and production and like, house lights and house sound for an executive producer credit.
Awesome.
And we were like, I mean,
can't beat it.
Yeah. Thank you. And I mean, and making calls, last minute things. I honestly, I can't like those guys. I said it the other day to somebody. I was like, like the saying, it takes a village. Like, these guys did everything. Like these guys, that's all.
So what were you thinking when you saw some of the footage that they had shot for the first time? Because you had to be blown away at the production quality that they got out of it.
I wasn't, only because I knew, I just trusted that they were going to do the best possible job. I just knew. And so when I saw it, I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. This looks fucking sick. This is exactly what I thought it would look like.
That's awesome.
Like even like down to down to lighting and stuff. Like they were like, oh, what kind of? I was like, you, whatever. Like I trust you guys. You guys do this. I don't do this. You do this. What's right.
Seriously. No bullshit in here. And if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the special yet, it's one of the funniest, one of the best specials I've seen so far this whole year. And dude, by far,
literally before we started rolling, we were talking to ourselves before you got on, and we were like, this is definitely a top 5 special. And the people I would put in front of you for having a better special are people like Joe List, Bert Kreischer, and Matt McCusker, who have way more resources, who have way more specials out there. Like it's insane that you put out this good of content for it being your first special.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I would put Sarah Silverman on that list too. I think she has a pretty good one.
I haven't seen hers. I should give it a watch after this.
And was Ian's this year? Ian Lars is this year, or that was last year?
Oh, I'm not sure. It could have been this year.
Yeah.
Also,
so that moves me down to 6. So that moves me down to the top 5.
Well, recency bias in place too. You think about the good specials that stick in your mind. It's like, yeah, I'm sure I saw some good ones at the beginning of 2023, but like, dude, I'm gonna remember this one for a while because I'm gonna tell everybody like, hey, do you want to hear the best comedy special from the best comedian you've never heard of? Like, this is definitely that.
I'd like to be heard of at some point. That'd be sweet.
Hey, we're the hit makers.
Well, you're gonna get heard of.
Yeah, because
dude, get someone to throw a beer at you real quick.
I'm not ucking the girl. I'm ucking the bot. Like, that's so fucking shitty.
Dude, you don't know about this because you came on before that. We had Ariel Elias on our podcast the week before she got a high noon thrown at her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. It did good numbers for us. Yeah, bro. It was a good timing for us.
That's great. That's good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we had a podcast in the can with no pun intended, with her on the episode, and we're just like, here you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had just dropped the episode too, and then like 2 days later, we're looking on Twitter, and it's just like Ariel Elias is like blowing up on Twitter, and we're like, what is happening right now? Then we
so your
saw
special's
what
gonna blow up after this, dude. Someone's gonna throw a high noon at you.
There's gonna be it's gonna end way differently than it ended for.
I would
Ariel.
say you would end up on Jimmy Kimmel, but there's no Jimmy Kimmel right now.
Yeah, I'll end up on TMZ.
Yeah, right.
Hey, the special comedian will get good murders press. Heckler.
Yeah, right. The special will get good press, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Check out his special here.
I
He's going to need those Spotify streams in the can.
I'll be like Burzum. I'll record the second special from prison.
There you go.
But I would honestly say, anybody that's a rising comedian and is like, this is what's possible. If you grind and you work hard. And you
get a beer thrown at you.
Yeah, get beer thrown at you. But you're
talking about me? Or?
Yeah, just talking about you. Like just the road grinding. I know that you've been doing because you were on the road last year when you were here on the show, and just the quality that you got out of that special. And if it doesn't blow up, like there's something wrong with the universe because it deserves to be on Netflix right now. Like seriously, it should be on Netflix right now.
All right, so yes, thank you so much. My gosh, like honestly, like it's hard to even process these compliments. But like, can we talk about Netflix for a second? Like,
yes,
yeah, dude.
Fuck, like, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it should be on YouTube for free, and people should go see it,
and then buy tickets Netflix to see you on the road.
You know what I mean? There's like 4,000 specials on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't know that Netflix would care as much about me as Equal Vision does. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe my opinion will change if Netflix is like, here's $1 million. I'll be like, oh yeah, like, but like from an outsider's point of view, like just a consumer's point of view, like, I don't know, all that stuff.
Yeah. And we've seen comedians crack this code already. Like, Netflix, that era is pretty much done. Because like we just said it to you, your special is better than anything on Netflix right now. Because
all right. Again, wow. Thank you. I don't know how to process. But so my top 5, it's HBO and YouTube. There's not, I guess I could throw Sean Patton in the mix there, right? And then that's Peacock. That's still not Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that Netflix has put something out this year that I'm like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like,
no, 100%, dude.
And this is no disrespect to Mark Norman. I think he's unbelievable, but this isn't his best special, the Netflix one.
100%.
Like his best. I think he's still getting better, but I don't think the Netflix one is like his baby. I don't.
Yeah, it's not as good as Out to Lunch.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean, and no insult intended, like just like objectively speaking, like I'm blown away by Out to Lunch, and I'm like, I'm entertained by Soup to Nuts.
Yeah, and see, that's the code that people have cracked already too. Like, especially a comedian like you, who you have so many dates and you book so much. Like you are constantly on the road, and now you have this special that's free to watch that people can watch before they buy a ticket to go see you. And you have all these clips that you can pull from this special to promote with. Like, it's just the smart way to actually get a return on your money by selling tickets on the road, as opposed to, being on the front page of Netflix one time and then no one ever watches it.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, again, I don't know what it's like behind the scenes over there, like what the money is, what the streaming numbers is. I don't think they tell the artists what the streaming numbers
they don't
are.
know.
And I don't know, man. This is like Joe List's second or third. Well, it's his second on his own YouTube channel. It's his third on YouTube. Andrew Schultz has 2 on YouTube. Shane Gillis blew up with his on YouTube. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like this is the
And also, I mean, can we go into Jacob's conspiracy corner for a minute? Because you brought up a good point. Like, so Netflix doesn't tell the people the streaming numbers that, put out their specials or whatever, but they also then pay them based off of the streaming numbers. So,
yeah. And again, that's a tough thing because, like, when you're a struggling comedian, or I'm sure in Mark Norman's case, there was just like a huge advance. When you're a struggling comedian, it's like you offer someone, whatever, $25,000. Yeah, we're gonna give you the thing,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I can
agree with you,
imagine it's
buddy.
a lot like music business too. Like back when I got signed to a major label, it's sort of like they just dangle this tiny little carrot in front of you, but you're so hungry that you're just like, I'll take anything, just give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not greedy, and I like being punk, and I like being punk about stuff. And so it's like, how can I do this where it's affordable for people to find me, and I don't need to like live like some kind of crazy lifestyle? But if someone comes to me and is like, hey, I'll give you 50 grand, I might make concessions. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not that 50 grand is a life-changing number, but it's a year-changing number. It'll make things a lot easier,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough situation, and I mean, I don't begrudge anyone making either decision. This just felt right to me, and it wasn't like I really had other you know what I mean? Like, I could have done it alone. I could have done it on my own,
Right.
or I could have let the Equal Vision put it out. It's not like Netflix was an option, but I gotta tell you, if Netflix is an option, like, I mean, it's not an immediate decision. It's just, I gotta look, like, I gotta think about it, like, I mean, how much are they really going to offer someone,
Yeah, because
Right.
I don't think they're going to give you Dave Chappelle numbers up front.
Exactly. And like, for those guys, it is easy to just like, yeah, this is this year's paycheck. Like, I'm going to take this $1 million from this place because I already have millions of dollars from all these other places, and my fan base is still going to be there, even if this is lost in the weeds. Even if this does just go up for one day on Netflix, or they shelf it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, going back to the music example, like, if Amazon or Nate, like, Amazon offers Nate whatever the amount of money is, Nate can put a thing on Amazon, and if it doesn't do well, he just does more on his own. Like, it's just,
Right.
I just move on. That was this year. That was January.
You said it was on Amazon?
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Nah, it was pretty fucking good.
Was it? Should I watch it?
Well, actually, Amazon's relatively easy to get stuff onto because you can self-publish your own stuff onto Amazon Prime.
Ah, dude, I know some real bad comedians with some real bad Amazon specials.
That's definitely not what happened with Nate.
Yeah, right.
I think they backed the truck up to his house.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they were trying to like make like Amazon the new home for comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it worked. I haven't heard of anything since, but
But I think you
That's such a
kind of hit
marketable guy to use that too.
you kind of hit the nail on the head a little while ago. I think I like your special because it feels punk rock, and I'm punk rock from the very beginning. You know, that was kind of my roots as punk rock for everything I've ever done. You know?
Dude, you're that hurting back punk rock, dude.
Yeah,
you got that.
exactly.
You're that whiplash punk rock. You got whiplash from being in the pit.
Yep.
But Neil, buddy, we're gonna get off your nuts about the fantastic special. I promise. We're not just gonna. But a question I did want to ask you, man, is I wanted to ask you why. So starting from the very beginning, before you had even decided that you want to do a special, why was now the right time to do it? Like, why was now the right time to drop this hour? Why would why do it now?
Some of the reasoning is I wanted to retire some of this material, and I don't believe in burning material. I don't think that just because a million people saw something that you have to not use that material anymore, because I mean, how many people in the world, you know what I mean? Like that, you're still reaching new audiences, whatever. That's a different argument, but I just wanted to it's stuff about breaking up with my wife. It's stuff about moving to Oklahoma, and I don't even live there anymore. It's stuff about the pandemic. We're over it. So it's just it's a lot of stuff that I just wanted to get done, and just, I don't want to tell these jokes anymore for my mental health. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring up my ex-wife every night on stage. Fucking exhausting, know? So that was one. And two, I don't know how suicidal I was on the last episode.
Not at all. Tell us something, buddy. Are you okay?
I mean, I just want it out there. So,
right.
If anything happens.
It's a good legacy to leave behind.
Yeah.
I get that a lot, man. I mean, us comics, I mean, we're, on the road all the time. Anything can happen, The most dangerous thing in the world is driving a car, and we take it for granted. I get it, dude.
So yeah, I just I thought it was time to go. I don't want to. What am I waiting for?
Right.
Yeah.
No one's knocked. You know what I mean? Every party I've gotten into, it's because I just walked in.
I'm the one.
Like no one's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's like, hey Neil, I want to give you this. No one's doing that. There's a million other comics. No one's looking for the old fat guy with, no one's looking for me.
Yeah. Well, there are a million other comics, but I think that they all know you, personally.
I mean, that's definitely not true, but.
Dude, every comic, I did not realize, how many people we had in common until I started, over this last year, really following you on Facebook and being like, holy crap, Neil knows this guy, too, that we, also have in common. Like Abby Washuda, Tyler Arsenault, who you're with this weekend.
Abby, I mean,
Will Loden, all these people, dude.
I mean, you're naming close friends. That's not what I mean? Abby's my fucking ace.
Yeah,
I know. Will I toured with? You know what I mean? You're talking about that doesn't count. You know what I mean? That's dude, I can't believe you know your mom. Yeah, I fucking know Abby. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Right. Well, I didn't know, man. I didn't know until I knew.
Yeah,
all right.
Can you hear this in the background, or we're good?
No, we're good.
What is it? What should we be hearing it?
The people I'm staying with, it just got real loud in the other room. I don't think they have any respect.
Dude, they need to have some dignity. Have some freaking dignity. But Neil, we got about 30 minutes left. I think now is a good time to give you the treatment that we've been giving all of our guests lately. The last time you were on, we weren't doing this. This time we are doing this. What we do is we talk to comedians about their beginnings in comedy, their first open mics, some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen at open mics, that kind of stuff. So I want to go back to the very beginning, your very first open mic. How old were you? What part of the world were you in? How did it go?
I don't remember.
Okay.
So an
Good
early
start.
open mic that I do remember was in Sarasota, Florida,
I'm sorry.
at a place called Evie's.
Okay.
There's two Evie's. One's downtown, one's not downtown. This was at the one not downtown. There was, I remember there was an old lady in like a shamrock, like a shimmery green. It was like around St. Patty's Day, and it was like one of those St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And she was terrible. And there was a guy, like a prop comic,
Okay.
but he was like, you know,
Yeah, he's a prop comic.
yeah.
Our favorite
But,
kind
like-
of comic.
What?
I said it's our favorite kind of comic, prop comic.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't all there, dude. And it was pretty horrible. It was pretty insane. And I mean, the whole mic was terrible, and I was terrible, and everyone was terrible. And I had kind of like almost blocked it out a little bit until like a few years later, I was featuring at McCurdy's in Sarasota. And they do like an open mic either Wednesday or Thursday after the show. They do an open mic in the bar. And I was like, oh, I'll do, like I like, whatever. I still do open mics all the time. So I'm like, oh, I was like, can I get up on the mic? And so I'm waiting to go up on the mic, and I see the prop comic guy. And it was like PTSD. It was like a trigger. I was like, yo. And I like the guy I was with, Mike Stevens. I was like, yo, is that? I was like, and I didn't even have like the word, like I didn't know, like I didn't, like I was like, is that the guy? I was like, where's? And then I had to like look in my phone for like, because I record everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I like look at my phone and I found the date. Like I was like, I searched Sarasota and I found the thing, and I'm like, is it? I'm like, I like. So I found the date in the phone, and then I went through my photos, like by date, and I found the guy, and I'm like, this is that guy, right? And Mike was like, why do you have a photo of that guy? And I was like, oh, because this was like the worst experience of my life. I was like, I watched my mom die, and this was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, dude. So when you say he wasn't altogether there, was it more like a
Like
mental...
you, kind of.
Okay, sweet. So mental retardation, not mental health.
Yeah, no. It's a slow fella.
All right, yeah, dude, that's me. You hit the nail on the head yet again, buddy. You're batting 1,000 tonight.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you have this horrible experience in Sarasota, Florida, your first time, or one of your first times ever doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah. I mean,
What year was this, by the way?
15.
Okay.
So I did comedy for like a year and a half in the like late aughts, but I didn't pursue it. I stopped. And I really don't remember March. I went down to Florida for spring training to go to some games. And we did some open mics. And then I probably didn't do another open mic until like May of that year. And then I took a class, and then I took another class, and I took another class. And yeah, that's kind of when I started for real.
What, like comedy classes?
Yeah. I like hearing people talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why we're in business right now.
Yeah. I've probably taken like somewhere between 6 and a dozen stand-up classes.
Okay.
5 or 6 week courses. I just like hearing people articulate things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I hear about like a reputable instructor, I'll go listen, you know. I still like good critiques, you know what I mean? Like if I can get someone to sit down and give me articulate notes, I want them, you know. Jason Rowland from the World Series of Comedy, he's like real good at notes. Candy Claire, who books New York Comedy Club, she gives really, really good notes. Yeah, I just like hearing people talk about it, you know. I just like to.
So is that kind of what comedy class is, where you go in and you do some sets and they just critique it?
I mean, no, the classes that I've taken are mostly like, it depends on like the level of the students, I guess. But like most of them is just like, here's how jokes are structured. Here's some different kinds of jokes. Here's my writing process. Here's some exercises I do. These are some tricks or techniques for tips and techniques for getting on stage, or for, how to handle your career as you're just starting out. Like just hearing someone talk, 3 hours a day for 6 weeks, 3 hours a week for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You're bound to get something out of it, especially if they're like a good, if they know if they know how to speak, which I clearly don't. But yes, I just love hearing, I love hearing vets talk about it. And,
That's very interesting. I think you're probably the first person we've had on that has ever like not only taken a comedy class but have spoken like highly of it.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of shitheads that are charging you money to not do what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
But if you look, I mean, watch the dude's comedy, watch the lady's comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Joe Schmo, and you go to his website and like, it's like he's obviously performing in a banquet hall and it's all big round tables. Like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, I don't know that he's gonna. He might be a person to listen to, but if you go to like someone's website and they're like clearly a professional comedian, and they have club dates and they've done this and that, and like you watch their jokes and you're like, oh, this guy's funny, I'm enjoying this guy or this lady, and they're laughing. Yeah, let me go see what they have to say.
Yeah.
And then you go take the class, and then if you're an idiot, they're gonna dumb down and try and. But if you're like, oh, that's interesting that you approach it that way, and if you're willing to learn, and I'm always willing to learn, you hear quality stuff. And you can tell when someone's like unhinged pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell when like, oh, this was a waste of money. This was a bad call. I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to run through like all the different teachers I've or instructors I've sat with. I mean, really only a couple of bad experiences where I'm like, oh, what is this? This guy shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was one lady who was just like, how are you? How did you teach a second class? Like, how after the first class, everyone wasn't like, why are we talking to you? But, right. There's all sorts of scams out there, you get what you can get out of it. And if you're willing to like learn, and you're not, if you use your noodle, you can, that's all.
So, all right. So that's sort of your beginnings into comedy. We're around.
Also, let me just say, like, I like, you get something out of everything. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's what not to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I still go to open mics all the time. Like I it's not a waste of time. You know what I mean? Like, you're never above it. And that might be something I learned in New York City that like maybe in other places you don't get as often, because like when people become veterans in smaller scenes, they tend to leave the scene or stop going to like the going to the Monday mics or whatever. But in New York, I remember like I'd be at an open mic and it would be like real deal comedians at the mic, or I'd be at a bar show for 7 people and Mark Norman's there, Joe List is there, Sam Reville's there, and it's like, oh, this is what I have to compete with, you know? And so you just learn to grind harder, I think, you know, because I mean, whatever, like I've been in Oklahoma, I was in Oklahoma for like a couple of years, and like the veterans don't show up, and I'm talking like 3-year veterans. Like I'm not even talking to like forget Justin Smith, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking just like regular kids who had just been doing it for a year longer than the other kids, and they stop showing up. Or in the case of like the really good ones, they move to Austin or they move to Nashville, you know. But like people disappear and like they don't support their scenes and they don't support the mics, and it's like, you know, you need to. I don't know. I like going to mics. I don't know. I like meeting comics. I like talking about. I like talking about. I just want to talk about it. I want to dissect a joke. I want someone to come off stage and be like, "Yo, that bit about the tiger, that's so funny, man. Did you ever think about this angle?" Or yo, do you mind if I give you a tag? Or do you mind if I suggest a tag? Or do you mind if I suggest an angle? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to write a joke for someone, but I'll be like, "Yo, like, did you ever think about, you know, because tigers are in zoos too. Like, what if the reveal is you're in a zoo? You know, like those kind of things where it's just like, I don't know. I want to talk about it. I want to hear your thought. I want to hear, you know, the shitty comics thought, and no, that's dumb. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Or the shitty comic says something and you're like, huh, I wouldn't have thought of that. I was doing too much thought. Like you know, like I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying the right things here.
That's kind of how I feel like the scene here used to be before the pandemic. Was, you know, all the people that were in the scene, we would kind of get together and just hang out and talk about comedy and, you know, and try to improve each other's jokes and, you know, throwing out ideas and stuff. Then the pandemic happened, and then it was never the same after that. Like it just
not to cut you off. I would do open mics in the city, and we would like, there was one place where they were like 4 a night and you couldn't do 2 back to back. So like you'd all go to the first one, then we go get something to eat and like dissect each other's jokes, then go back, do the third one, and then like go to another place for the fourth one. Yeah. And then, you know, wrap it up. And then pandemic hit, and I grabbed anyone I could. I met 4 guys who just started comedy that year. And I was like, yo, come back to my apartment. Like, let's work on these jokes. And it helps me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this guy's not going to give me a tag that I'm going to use, but building his joke is going to help me. It's going to reinforce the things that work for me. You know what I mean? And then, like, not for nothing, like, I mean, I can't sell this enough. Be fucking cool, right? So, like, I'm cool to these kids, and then my special comes out, and all these kids are like, yo, that's fucking dope. Yo, check out Neil's special. He not only is he funny, he's cool. He helps me. You know what I mean? Like, that's not why you do it. You don't do it for the return. You do it because, like, it feels better to be fucking cool than to be an asshole. But there are benefits to it. Like, you know, like, I'm cool with people my whole life. So then, like, when I hit hard times and I don't have a place to stay, I'm getting all emotional. You know what I'm trying to say? Be cool, motherfuckers.
Yeah, just be cool. And
just be cool, man.
Mark Simmons,
it's so much easier.
And Mark
How
Simmons
much easier is
in the chat room right now. The guy that wrote our intro. He said, "I was in that scene much less than you guys, but I always appreciated how free and friendly everyone was with feedback and critique." And yeah, like I miss those times when it just felt like a camaraderie of comedians, you know.
Yeah. Well, so when it went away, I just made it. You know what I mean? I was just like, yo, kids, like, let's go. Like Andrew Bergen, Tom DeSillis, Steve Perillo, Chris Capel, like all these dudes, they would just come over my apartment. We'd just fucking chill. We'd like workshop jokes. We'd watch like YouTube clips, you know, reference shit. I mean, there's definitely tags in my special that like I mean, Stephen Roccaperillo was a little bit more of a vet than the other kids, but like I have a tag in my special that's like straight up just like him. Right? He said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just said it, and I was like, "That's hilarious." And he's like, "Yeah, He's like, "I think that'll go good on this joke," and I was like, "Yeah, all right, sick, thanks."
Yep.
So that's, you get shit out of that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's so much fun to just like, what was the other choice? Sit alone in my fucking basement?
And that's
like,
the thing,
man, come over.
When you've got a lot of minds, working like that and just throwing out ideas with one another, it just makes everything so much better.
So much better, so much more fun.
Yeah. Instead of trying to be, I don't know, like adversarial or trying to one up somebody else, like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, just being a dick. Like, don't be a dick. Be nice. Be cool.
And like people who are like precious with their knowledge.
Yeah.
I never understood that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, were you just gonna like take it to the grave with you? Like, isn't it cooler if after I'm dead, one of you guys is like, "Yo, one time Neil said this,"
mm-hmm.
then you're like, "I never really got along with that guy."
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I find too that it's the, some of the better comics in the world that are the nicer comics as well. Like,
100%.
just the other night I was at an open mic and the more veteran guys were all sitting together. And then the open micers who are like less than a year in are all sitting together. And then you watch the show and the veteran guys are all bombing because they're not having a good time. They're sitting there in their misery. They're not, talking to these young kids who have these new ideas about comedy and are freaking stoked about it. And then the young kids get up there and they murder when they have no business murdering that hard, being less than a year into comedy.
Yeah.
Because they're just fucking stoked about the writing process. They're like, they're genuinely happy to be there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not, it's not across the board, but yeah, there's something to be said about having a good time. That's what the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to bring joy to people. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're not having a good time in comedy, then don't do comedy. It's like you're not having fun.
You can go be miserable and make a ton more money.
Yeah, doing something else.
You can just be in the music business, and then you can be as miserable as you want.
I mean, again, though, like all my friends that do music are like fun guys. Like, just be cool.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's so easy. The cunts disappear. No one wants to hang out with you. Your legacy dies, man. You're difficult to work with. No one wants to be around you. You ruin every relationship you have.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of which, I was just going to say, speaking of which, like, how cool is Taking Back Sunday, dude?
How cool is Taking Back Sunday, man?
Like, I saw them intro your special, and I, like, squealed like a little girl. I was like, yo, that's freaking Taking Back Sunday. I didn't expect this, and it's so awesome.
How cool. I'm loved. I'm so fortunate.
Yeah. Dude, my 90% of my playlist is probably Taking Back Sunday's entire discography. So I really did fangirl super hard when I saw them come on the special, and I was like, yo!
Mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, dude. Freaking amazing.
What's the point of doing that if people don't freak out? I did a show called Casino Cinema. Nothing. And the host was Steve Sharippa. And Steve Sharippa is like one of the kindest, most people I've met.
Okay.
And one day he was like, "Oh, come be on The Sopranos." And I was like, "Okay." And he told me where to go, and I went to the Bada Bing. And the first one I did, I was just like in the bar, and then the producer, whoever, was like, "Oh," like he liked my look. He was like, "Oh, come back." He's like, "We have another scene here in whatever a week. Come back." And then I was like a Bills fan, and he was like, "All right." He's like, when this guy says this line, we need you to cheer," or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And so that's it. That's really it, man.
That's awesome.
That's
I mean,
cool,
were you
though.
stoked to be on the set of The Sopranos?
I It's the same as everything. I have a
right.
very, I don't know. I'm not.
Neil,
You know,
can I
we're all
get
the same. This is as cool as that is. Does that make sense?
okay? You
Wow.
want it back for me because I was about to get mad at you, dude. I was about to get mad at you for doing the coolest stuff of all time, and
No,
then
but
just
it's all
being
cool.
so
Like you,
nonchalant
like,
about it.
but this is cool. You know what
I
I
agree.
mean?
This is cool.
We
This
can
is
put
cool.
that as
I'm
our
happy you're here.
tagline, Jacob. Like Neil Rubenstein, they're as cool as the Sopranos.
But think about this, right? Like, so I don't think like this isn't for me. Like, everyone's the same, right? Like, you, me, a midget at a circus, right? We're all the same.
Okay.
So the like for other people, for people who do view celebrity, right?
Mhm.
For people that celebrity makes a difference, where they fangirl over like Travis Barker and not Jacob Craig, right?
Okay.
What if in 10 years you're a big fucking deal, right?
Right.
Now, are they going to be like, oh, I blew it. I could have been a fangirl of Jacob Craig's 10 years ago? Or, do you know what I'm trying to say here? Like,
Yeah.
That dude's just luckier than you are,
Yeah.
right?
I got you. I got you.
But it's all like it can change tomorrow.
Right. It's all cool
Right?
stuff. Yeah.
You could meet Tony Hawk at a grocery store, and then invite him on the podcast, and then the podcast gets 100,000 views, and
Right.
now everyone knows who you guys are,
Right.
right? And that changes everything.
Best
So
grocery
if I'm
store visit ever.
What do you know what I'm saying? So like if I'm cunty to people who aren't Travis Barker,
Right.
you know what I mean? Then it's like what the fuck, man? You know
Neil,
what I mean?
this is why I like you, man. You change my perspective on things sometimes. You really do. Yeah, and well, we said
Just
this
be
the
cool.
we said this the last episode. You will give us this very well thought out point with no holes in it that genuinely makes me question my view on life, and then at the end of it, you're just like, I don't know anything though.
But I don't. Yeah, that's just my thing. That's just my. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to say the thing I'm trying to say. I'm just like,
You did it
It's
though.
just-
You did it very well.
it just comes down to like Samuel Jackson. You know, be cool, motherfucker. Just be cool. That's it. It's so easy.
I got
It's
you.
so easy, man. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. Why wouldn't I talk to you like I talk to Ben Bailey? Like, what's the difference?
Cash cab.
Like, what's the difference, though? Right? He was
I don't
nobody
know.
too.
Yeah, no, I get it. Cash Cab was my jam, though, dude. I'd probably fangirl over Ben Bailey. I have that in me, dude. I really do fangirl over people, dude.
Listen, it's not lost on me when I'm like with that dude, right? It's not lost on
Yeah.
me that I get to open for him. Like, yeah, it's like it's so cool, right? But I get to do that because when we met, I wasn't like, oh my god, you know, I was like, yo,
I do
we
that,
have shit
dude.
in common, you
Yeah.
know, like we're both comedians.
I do that, dude. I blew it with Mick Foley. I freaking blew it, dude. I opened for Mick Foley, freaking sold out room. I went back into his green room. I was like, hey, man, like, I was trying to be cool. I was like, yo, I'm your opener. What's up? He's like, I didn't know I had an opener. And then I stood there for too long. He's like, can you get out? And I was like, ah, shit, dude. I blew it. I freaking blew it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that has a little to do with him too, you know.
Now, well, I mean, he heard my set, and then he came on stage and he addressed. It was like that. You know, that was really good. So he won me back. But then I never talked to Mick Foley ever again.
All right. Well,
that was our one experience, was him being like, that guy was good at comedy, and then kicking me out of his green room.
Don't feel bad, Jacob. I had a pretty big fangirl moment too a couple of years ago at Pensacon. I did an independent filmmakers panel for a movie I did a few years ago, and I got sat next to Robert Kurtzman, who, if you don't know who that is, he did
Walking Dead?
Wishmaster. He did Wishmaster. He did all the special effects for like the Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness, all that kind of stuff.
Wait,
And
Robert Kirkman or Robert Kurtzman?
Kurtzman.
Kurtzman.
okay.
And
I heard that wrong.
And I got sat right next to him, and we're waiting for this panel to start, and I'm just sitting there buzzing. I'm just like, I'm fucking sick and sitting next to Robert Kurtzman. Like, it's fucking awesome. And I was like, inside my head, I was just like, be cool, don't freak him out. Just be cool. And I turned to him and I said, hi, Robert Kurtzman. My name is Jason Robinson. Blah, 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 and I just fanboy vomited all over him, and he was just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Nah, dude, I disagree with that dude. Like, that dude's not famous enough to be shitty about someone being stoked on him.
No, he should also be excited. They're like, you know who I am, dude?
He should be like, yo, you without like a name under me, you knew who the fuck I was?
Well, he was cool. He was really cool. He's just he wasn't expecting me to be such a fan of his, like because I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, he doesn't have many, dude. He was like, yo, are you stalking me, bro? How do you know who I am?
Yeah, but this is the dude who did all the special effects for like the Evil Dead movies, man. Like,
no
this
one
dude's
knows
a
that.
legend.
I mean, I'm sure he's very talented and like that's cool.
You never saw Wishmaster? God, Wishmaster was a great
I never
movie.
even heard of it until you just said it.
What?
Dude.
Neil, dude, just go watch Wishmaster, please. Just go watch Wishmaster for me.
Is it a horror?
Yeah, it's a horror movie. It's from the early 90s, late 80s, somewhere around there.
I'm a big I get nightmares. I'm not good at stuff.
Yeah, same here, dude.
I'm a 9-year-old boy.
You don't look like it, buddy.
Inside, I cry when I talk about my friends. I can't watch horror movies.
Look, that's nice.
Sensitive
Can
guy.
I just say?
That's okay.
Can I just say that's something I admire about you, dude? You genuinely I genuinely feel like you're somebody who brings their friends up with them, and I fucking respect the shit out of that.
That's like the whole those are my favorite people. Are like kingmakers, like people who acknowledge their power, their fame, their like a Adam Sandler or Bert Kreischer. Like I'm not a fan of Bert Kreischer's comedy, but like that dude's bringing all the dudes with him.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan brings all the homies with him.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe in a way does the same thing too.
Who?
Tony Hinchcliffe in a way.
Tony Hinchcliffe, yeah, but he's a little bit mean-spirited. But I get, he's in there.
He's mean-spirited, but if you're his friend, like Cam Patterson, dude, turn that guy into a sensation.
Yeah, he knows that he can make you famous, and he wants to bring people. Look, I just want my friends with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the whole. That's my whole MO on this whole thing is like. I
mean, what is the good of having fame if you can't enjoy it with the people you love, your friends?
What's the good of being alive if you can't enjoy it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. I don't know, man. I just want to be around. I just want to be around people who I vibe with. Like, I just want to hang. Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day too, like blurring the lines between friends and fans. Like, if you message me on like Instagram and you're like, yo, I saw the show, you're sick. Like, I'm gonna be like, yo, that's sick. Did you grow up in Nashville? That's cool, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, we're not different. Like, there shouldn't be a hierarchy.
Right.
Like, if you have power that like from luck, you know what I mean? Then like give other people power. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't know. I don't know.
You're 100% correct. There is
like
something
I always fantasize about that. Like I want to be I want to be on the bus and I want to have my friends come out and like Abby. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, when can you come? I tell her this all the time. She knows. She has an open invite. If she sees I'm headlining somewhere and she wants to come, she's coming.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't care. I have to do 10 minutes less so she can do 10 minutes. You're coming.
Right. Dude, I ask my girl that all the time, dude. When are you coming? When?
But even on okay. And then the argument against that, right, is like people pay to see you. But I submit that if you're paying to see me, if you're my fan, you know how I am, and you're going to respect my choice in friends, right? So if I'm like, hey, this person's fucking dope. I know I'm doing only 40 minutes today. I know you wanted 50. I'm sorry, folks. But you're going to get 10 minutes of Abby, and she's a fucking killer. Give her the respect you would give me. And I think my fans would, right?
Right. I totally agree, dude.
And if they don't, then I don't really care about them. That's not who I'm pitching to.
Neil, I gotta ask you. You've been on the road pretty hard for since we talked to you last year. Where's the best place?
Since April of 21.
Jesus, where's the best place you've eaten in the last year since we talked to you?
It's like that's a tough thing. I mean, I'm going to talk about Jack Brown's again. I'm pretty sure I talked about it last time.
You did. Yeah. I listened to our episode back, and I was like, Jack Brown's.
That's the best. It's the best. And then I guess, like I like a lot of Ethiopian. I mean, still the best pizza is New York. I can fill in Sons in Hicksville. And, I mean, there's other places, Leonardo's and Massapequa. But my favorite Indian place is also on Long Island. It's called Dewan. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. It's probably all the same things. I don't think I've had anything in the past year that I'm like, this changes the game. You know what, though? I will say, since we last spoke, I've become a bigger fan of Arby's.
Okay, let's get into this.
What
changed you?
Now they have the gyro. They have a Greek gyro on the menu.
Yeah,
that's good.
And it's hard to get cheap Greek food, and it's hard to find good Greek food on the road. And this is a pretty good facsimile. They nail the yogurt sauce. I mean, I don't know if it's like just sugar and yogurt, but they nail it. And the pita is soft. It's heated. And the meat is tasty enough. Whatever the seasoning is, oregano and dill is fine.
Yep.
Probably a lot of MSG. But it suffices. It's good enough.
Yeah.
Comes with crinkle cut fries and a fucking drink. Let's go,
dude. Again with the crinkle cuts. Man.
I know. I love crinkle cuts.
Dude, the Arby's down the street from me has been closed for about a month now.
Didn't someone drive through the wall?
Yeah, somebody drove through the wall. That's the first thing that happened. Then
they saw drive through and they're like,
yeah,
they're like, you're right.
And then they fired the whole staff because everybody around here I've talked to were pretty sure it was like a huge drug ring out of there, so they fired everybody.
I've eaten there so many times.
Did you buy drugs?
No, I wish I knew. I'm white, dude. I walked in the door. That explains why I walked in the door, and they're like, "Welcome to Arby's, Narc." Here comes one.
I mean, you go by there and there's people in the drive-through at like 8:30 in the morning. There's something going on at that Arby's.
Hey, do you guys ever ring the bell at Arby's?
I have before.
That's how they knew that they couldn't sell drugs to me, because I saw the bell and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna dingy ding it. I'm gonna dingy ding this bell."
You know what I had today for the first time? Penn Station East Coast Subs.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No.
It's a chain. I've seen it a little bit in the past year. I started seeing it on DoorDash, and I was like, "What is this?" And I thought it was just like one of those like ghost kitchen-y things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there was one here in Nashville, and I'm a big library guy. Did we talk about that last time?
I don't think so.
Like I spend a lot of my that's where I go to work. Like, if I have editing or writing to do, I'll go set up at a library. I just feel like it's quiet, it's clean, no pressure to buy anything. And so the library I went to today, right next door was a strip mall. And I was like, all right, let me just walk over there and get something to eat. And I walked next door and I, was looking for what to eat. And it was Penn Station East Coast Subs. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I gotta say, they made a fan for sure. The service was pretty excellent. The guy was super polite, brought the sandwich out to you, free cookie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was good. And it was like a real good sandwich. It was like, I mean, I don't know if that'll end up in Ocean Springs, but maybe Biloxi.
Probably not. Maybe Biloxi. Dude, we're
Maybe
getting a Captain.
Hattiesburg, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about an hour from Hattiesburg. Dude, they're building a Captain D's down here, and it's the talk of the town. Everyone's excited for it.
I'm gonna be driving from Nashville to Lafayette tomorrow. Am I passing through your guys' hood?
No,
you'd have to go further east for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're to the right of Louisiana.
Yeah, if you were to drive south and go to Hattiesburg, we're about 45 minutes south of Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Hold
Dude,
on. We're going to Google. We're gonna find out right now.
Dude, we should get you a show down here.
Yeah,
let's work on getting you a show in Biloxi.
All right. What happens in Biloxi on Sundays? Anything?
Nothing really happens here right now, dude. We have a Tuesday open mic. That's pretty much it. They just got shows at the Ground Zero Blues Club, though. So that's pretty big. You could probably headline that.
So I'm going through Hattiesburg. I'm going through Slidell. Oh, I'm missing Biloxi and Gulfport.
Yeah.
But I bet it's not much more. I bet it's not longer. Gulfport. It adds 30 minutes to my drive.
Yeah, it's not that far.
I'm gonna text you guys about lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
And that's on Sunday?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. You got work, probably. You're working.
Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Fuck you, losers.
I can make up an
I
emergency.
take back what I said about you guys being cool and stuff. You guys.
Yeah, we have mouths to feed. God damn it.
You guys will never be fun.
Next time you're swinging through here.
Neil, I'll work on getting you a show down here as an excuse for us to hang out, buddy.
I am coming through Sunday because I'm coming from Lafayette to Huntsville.
Okay, yeah. You're
definitely.
I'll text you guys.
Yeah.
We'll
Let's get some plans going. We're doing this live on the podcast, guys. It's time to go. It's been way over an hour. Let's
people don't like this part. People don't like the.
I don't think they do. I don't think they like the part.
People don't like the part where I look on a map.
No, I don't think they like that content. But Neil, we love you, buddy.
Yo,
thank you
thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Thanks so much, man.
Dude, thank you so much for coming back on a second time.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
I would love for you to come on anytime I ask. I'm definitely gonna hit you up again.
I mean, well, what I'm gonna start saying no now?
Now? In the 11th
hour? Would that be?
But listen, all of you out there listening to this right now, go follow Neil at Neil Rubenstein on Instagram. Go to neilrubenstein.com and then
Steen,
you can get,
dude. It's Jason. It's Neil Rubenstien, dude.
How do you want me to say it? Do you want me to say it Stein or Steen?
Whatever's comfortable for you, buddy.
Because
whatever makes you, however you feel it in your heart.
This is why I think that the Mandela effect is real. Because when I was a kid and I read the Berenstain Bears, I used to ask my mom, "How do you pronounce it? Is it Steen or Stein?" And she said, "It's pronounced however you want to say it. You can say it either way." So that's why I remember it as the Berenstain Bears. And then we get older, and it's the Berenstain Bears, and I'm like, what does Nelson Mandela have to do with all this? But, apparently he does.
I just love that, like, an entire generation was so, was so hard up to not admit they were wrong that they were like, no, obviously there's a rift in time and space.
Hey, I will believe in more in a rift in time and space than I'm wrong, okay?
I couldn't possibly be wrong. And then that generation blames the older generation for being stubborn.
Go follow this man at Neil Rubenstein on Instagram. Go to neilrubenstein.com and then you can get to his special from there, or if you're just on YouTube, go look up Neil Rubenstein Have Some Dignity and watch one of the best comedy hours you're ever gonna see.
So nice to hear, man. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, it's a pleasure, man. Dude, I'm telling you, it's in my top 5 best comedy specials of the year.
Thanks, man.
Easy. But Jacob, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
We already went super long. Steve Burns coming on next month. If you're not a patron, get in the Patreon right now. We're doing big things.
Dude, Burns a huge get.
Dude, Neil, I'm dumb, dude, but I'm really good at getting people on this podcast. And I'm somehow really good at getting people to read our blog. Thousands of people are reading our blog. So go to openmicers.com and read my blog, guys.
Yeah, plug the fucking special on the blog then. What am I doing on the blog?
Yeah, do that, Jacob. Do that tonight. Go put it on there.
I'll write a review of it if you promise to share it.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Okay. I'll do it.
I just wasted an hour and 15 minutes with you lunatics. I'm not gonna fucking share a blog.
I'm not gonna hit a button, dude. I'm not gonna hit a share button.
I'd rather hit the button. Why can't we just skip to that? I gotta fucking talk to you losers.
Yeah, dude. I'll give it a rewatch and I'll write a review.
Awesome.
All right, man.
If you guys want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. Go to openmicers.com, like Jacob said, and read his blog stuff. And then you can go to Linktree/OpenMicersPodcast. That takes you everywhere you need to go, to our Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we will see all of you next week.
Ding that meat bell.
That was awesome.
Was that a good way to end the episode, guys?
Can I sample that on the vinyl of the special?
Please, dude. Please.
Just you saying that, and then I'll have a bell sound.
Please,
well, thank you all
I'll
for
have Jason send you the audio.
Thank you all for watching on YouTube. And go watch the special right after this. Go watch it, and you'll love it. And we will see you guys next week.